Welcome back to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast. I am your host, Julie Jester Gayheart, and I am coming to you for this week's episode back home on the Appalachian Trail for a few miles this week in Connecticut. This morning, I started where I left off on July the 4th at New York Route 22, which is Appalachian Trail northbound mile marker 1,454.4. And today I am doing a 6.9 mile day. Stephanie is going to be picking me up at Hoyt Road, which is the New York Connecticut border at Appalachian Trail mile marker 1,461.3. It feels really good to be back on the Appalachian Trail, and I hope you all enjoyed the Adirondacks episode of our time in Lake Placid. What an amazing time, an amazing 12 days we had there, and hope you all enjoyed that episode. And I also hope that you all get a chance to visit the Adirondack Park if you have not done so already, and just immerse yourself into the Adirondack Mountains and the ADK, as it is known up in that area. But today, for day one of the Connecticut series of episodes, you all know this summer I have been working on getting some miles in for a second section hike completion of the Appalachian Trail. And I just want to say, where we left off on the AT episodes was July 4th. I was going to originally hike a 5-mile day and end at the Dover Oak, but it just made sense to go to the New York train station. So I added another 2.5 miles the morning of July 4th, and that made July 4th a 7.5 mile day, ending at New York. Let me get back to it here. New York, Route 22, where I started this morning. And today I am headed to the Connecticut border. So this morning, the trail, when you cross there at the railroad station, you actually cross the road at New York 22. And you spend some time, you go up over a stile and you see that famous silo that everybody takes a picture of. And I did so as well. And I will, and I did some video that I will throw over on my Instagram and my Julie Gayheart YouTube channel from this morning. So I have spent the first just under a mile or so walking through farm fields, sun beating down on me. It is supposed to be a really warm day today, which is one of the reasons I am doing 6.9 miles, because I want to be done before the heat of the day. And now I have made my way from the farm fields into the woods, back on the Appalachian Trail, headed to the state of Connecticut. So my plan for this week is, today is Tuesday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That'll be 5 days that I can do some miles every single day in the state of Connecticut once I cross the line here. Not sure where I am going to end up. So going to click off some miles in the state of Connecticut, and then I am going to go back to Pennsylvania. I've got a 5-mile section there that has been lingering and out there in my mind since I ended my summer on the Appalachian Trail in 2020. I ended that section hike at PA 309. So this Sunday, July 21st, I am going back to PA 309, and I will be hiking a 5-mile section up to the Bake Oven Knob parking area, which includes in that 5 mile the knife. Of course, y'all, I have picked a point where I am out of breath again. The knife edge section of the Appalachian Trail in Pennsylvania. And not only am I excited to complete that 5 mile section that has been lingering over the past 4 years in my mind, I am really excited about who I am going to be doing that section with. I've got 3 people from the Seek to Do More program that are going to be meeting me and doing that section with me. And 2 of those people I have only met via our group. And Sarah Williams, who I did some hiking with in the Adirondacks, doesn't live too far from that section. So she is going to come down and hike that as well. And I am super pumped and excited. And if y'all remember from last week's episode from the Adirondacks, I met Sarah on my very first day, the evening of July 4th, going into the Adirondack Park. So that is going to be super special that she is going to come up and hike that 5 mile section with me. And then this week, in that 5 mile section, will actually end my miles on the AT this summer. And once I get done this week, and at the end of this episode, I'm not sure if I will make that Pennsylvania hike a separate episode or if I will tag it onto this one. So that'll end my summer section hiking on the AT. We will be headed to Ohio to visit family and then back down to North Carolina. And I have some redemption on some western North Carolina mountains that I have not climbed in many years, that I will be doing before we turn the van to head home. So just to give you a synopsis of what this episode is going to be about: hiking as many miles as we can get in Connecticut. And then on Sunday, July the 1st, I will be headed back to Pennsylvania to hike those 5 miles from PA 309 to Bake Oven Knob parking area. And it only seemed fitting that I save those 5 miles for the very last day of my summer section hiking on the Appalachian Trail. And by the end of this episode, I will be able to tell you exactly the mileage I have left to complete a second section hike of the AT and put a nice little bow on everything for the end of the summer. So we are back, had an awesome time in the Adirondacks, and looking forward to the next 5-6 days of getting more hiking in on the AT. Hope you all have a fantastic morning, and I will be back toward the end of this hike before I get to Hoyt Road and kind of round out the day, let y'all know the campground we're staying in for the next 5 or 6 days, and go from there. All right, y'all, I am back. I have a little over 1.5 miles before I get to Hoyt Road, which will be my ending point. But I want to tell y'all, I just crossed, now I got to get this right. I just crossed over Leather Hill Road, which is a gravel road. And I just met 2 women that are with the New Jersey, New York Trail Conference. And they had their specifically trained scent dogs with them. And the dogs were working that area of road for invasive species plants. And they were specifically looking for something called a sticky plant. I hope I get that right. And she actually had some of the sticky plant in a bag and showed me what it looked like. Asked me if I had seen any of it. And I don't know if I have or not because it almost looked like poison ivy. But she had me touch it. And it was fuzzy. You can probably hear the dogs right now. They're barking. And it's part of the mint family. And they are trying to get it all out of this particular area along the Appalachian Trail. So the New York, New Jersey Trail Conservancy, they actually have an invasive species scent dog team. It was really cool. They had one dog out and the other two were still in the van. I'm not sure if they were going to get those working dogs out. But how cool is that? So glad I ran across those women. They were very knowledgeable about the area, very knowledgeable about the plants. Their dogs were, oh my goodness, top notch. The dog, I was coming down the trail and I saw the little black dog over on the side and it was smelling and she called it and it went, I mean, smack dab to her leg and did not move the entire time I was talking to her. And when I got up there and I was talking to her, the other two dogs in the van, she said they had FOMO because the one dog was out and they were not allowed out yet. So how cool is that? They are specifically trained for this particular sticky plant. And she said in the fall, the plant will actually bloom and have some type of flower on it. And it'll grow and take over the area. And she said animals rub up against it like deer and then they carry it to another area or whatever animals are roaming around. It gets on their fur and they carry this plant to a different area. So how cool is that? Y'all, I'm going uphill, of course. So we had a cool little conversation and yeah, I can no longer hear the dogs barking. They pretty much went back to work. So thank you, New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, Trail Conservancy, for all the work that you do out here. And she said that road, Long Leather Hill Road, was kind of the end of their territory because, of course, as I said earlier, we are coming up to the Connecticut border. So that was kind of cool to end the last mile and a half with. And I just wanted to come back and let y'all know today's 6.9 mile hike was wet, buggy, muggy. There were a lot of little bog bridges that were slick because last night it thunderstormed like crazy. So yeah, wet, slick, muggy, buggy, sunny, and I am very happy to be back once again this summer, following white blazes, and today learning something new from two women and dogs that are out working on the trail. So how cool is that? Anyway, started listening to Necessary Endings again because while we were in the Adirondacks, I didn't listen to much of anything. I was just taking advantage of being in the ADK and all that good stuff. So today I picked back up with Necessary Endings, and hopefully I can finish out this audiobook before the end of the week, before I head to Pennsylvania to grab the last 5 miles I am going to do on the Appalachian Trail this summer. So I am headed downhill for a pretty good downhill. I'm going to pass a shelter, another road, looks like a little fire road, and then I will be at Hoyt Road. So headed downhill, another great day to be on the Appalachian Trail. Y'all, there's something happens to me when I get to the Appalachian Trail and I get to those white blazes. Something just fires up in my stomach, and I'm just so happy to be here and be on the brown path and clicking off more miles toward my second section hike. So hopefully you all are having a fantastic day. I did want to come back and say, for this entire time, we are going to be staying at Lake Waramag. I'm going to get that totally wrong. It is Lake Waramag campground. So we checked in early evening yesterday, got all set up, spent the evening pretty much staring at the lake, and went to bed pretty early. And just had a chill evening last night because I knew I wanted to get up and get started this morning. And my goal was to be done before noon. And I am going to meet that goal. And then, we're going to go. Stephanie found a diner. I'm going to tell you all the name of it. So right after this, we are going to be going to Three Brothers Diner, because I want to get some coffee, eggs, and bacon. Want to fill up on protein after this hike. And the Three Brothers Diner is apparently 18 minutes from Hoyt Road, where I'm going to get picked up. So there you have it. Day one, New York/Connecticut, getting ready to hit that border at the end of today. Definitely be in Connecticut tomorrow. And tomorrow's hike is going to be short and sweet and to the point, and I'm excited to fill you in on all of that tomorrow for day number 2. But for now, probably 1.3 left to the road, and then going to Three Brothers Diner. In the meanwhile, hope y'all are having a fantastic day, and I'll be back tomorrow. All right, y'all, hopefully you can hear this water. Gonna bring y'all with me on a little water crossing. I'm navigating here. Looks like they've put a rope across and the bridge is wiped out. But it looks like you can just kind of rock hop here. We will see what happens. Got my hand on the rope here. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but the water is moving, so you always got to be careful what rock you step on. So navigating here, there we are. Hopefully you can hear this. Beautiful stream. Not too bad. Less than a mile from Hoyt Road. As of today, what is today? July 16th. You can rock hop across it, but I can see, and we even had good rain last night, that in the fall, winter, early spring, you may want to use that rope. And who knows if they're going to fix the bridge. It's just kind of laying down in bits and pieces across the trail. So just wanted to bring you that water crossing. And no problem. Easy peasy. See y'all tomorrow. Back at it again this morning. It is Wednesday, July 17th. And right now I am standing at the top of 10 Mile Hill in the state of Connecticut on the Appalachian Trail. Started this morning at Hoyt Road, Hoyt Road, at the New York, Connecticut border. where I ended yesterday at northbound mile marker 1,461.3. And today I am doing a 4.4 mile day, and I'm really going to screw up the name of this road, from Hoyt Road to Shaghticoke Road, Shaghtikoke Road, northbound mile marker 1,465.8. And I just did basically my only climb of the day. It is supposed to be a scorcher here in the state of Connecticut, so got out early this morning doing a short 4.4 mile day. Got the climb out of the way, which really, it was a 500-foot climb, but the trail work and the steps and the rock steps that they built to get up here pretty much made it a relatively easy climb. Couple switchbacks, nice smooth grade up to the top of 10 Mile Hill. And now I have started walking basically on my way back down to my ending point. And a couple really cool things today. So this morning on the drive over here, we actually got to drive over Bull's Bridge, which is a really cool covered bridge that is over, I don't know what body of water it is over, but you can kind of see some waterfalls as you drive over the bridge. And from the Appalachian Trail, you can actually take a side trail to Bull's Bridge. It says Bull's Bridge, this is in Far Out, crosses the Housatonic River. Okay, there's the river. Housatonic River at Bull's Bridge, a 19th century covered bridge just outside of the village of Bull's Bridge. Several viewpoints near the bridge look up and down the Housatonic near a dam and cascading waterfall. And that is the official terminology of the Bull's Bridge covered bridge from Far Out. And so I'm looking forward to going back over that bridge here in a couple miles and then going to the Bull's Bridge Country Store, which, if you read the information in Far Out, seems to have some good minimal resupply. And a major comment on Far Out as of July 16th, 2024, no longer selling beer at the Bull's Bridge Country Store. If you are interested in that, it seemed to be a topic of conversation in the comments on Far Out. So yeah, really nice, short and sweet day. Get up and over 10 mile climb, the 10 mile mountain climb, which was only a mile, to get up to 10 Mile Hill. And then now I'm already starting to work my way down to a parking area just past the Blue Blaze Trail, where you would turn off of the AT to go down to Bull's Bridge and the Bull's Bridge Country Store. And I wanted to let you all know, yesterday I talked about going to a diner, and we did go to Three Brothers Diner. It is a family-style restaurant, and I'm telling you right now, it is in the town of New Milford. If you get a chance to get a ride to New Milford, if you're out section hiking and you've got somebody with you, it is a Batman-themed diner. It was the coolest place. One of the coolest diners I've ever been to. And fueled up on protein, had eggs, bacon, and some coffee. And then it was a real scorcher yesterday afternoon. So we found a theater in downtown New Milford where it was only $5 to see a movie. So we spent the afternoon watching movies, and then went back to the campground last night, early evening, when the sun was going down, and had a good night's rest, and up and at it again today. So today we are going to be venturing on to another diner. I'm not sure the name of that, but of course, tomorrow I will keep you posted. And so far, the terrain today has been pleasant. I should stop saying the brown path, and now we've turned into the dark rich, soiled path of the New England states that in some parts can be really muddy. Connecticut seems to have decent little bog bridges. Walked over some new bog bridge work this morning right past Hoyt Road, and the famous sign that says, "Welcome to Connecticut." And if you're going southbound, it says you are now leaving the New England state. So this day is short, sweet, to the point. We are going to be headed to another diner this morning when I get done with this hike. Probably for me, more eggs, more bacon, more protein. And then tomorrow, I believe I mapped out a 7.5 mile day. And then the 2 following days after that could potentially be close to 12-mile days. We'll see where we end up. If we don't get those days, that is okay, because every single day right now that I am in Connecticut is bonus miles. And this coming Sunday, July 21st, I'm actually starting to get excited about heading back down to Pennsylvania. Save the best 5 miles for last was my motto. And I've got those 5 pesky miles in Pennsylvania that I am going to knock out, going over from PA 309 to Bake Oven Knob, going over the knife edge. And I will be meeting 3 individuals there who are going to do that hike with me from the Seek to Do More program. So I am really looking forward to that. And after that hike, that will be when I put a nice little bow on my Appalachian Trail hiking for the summer. And then I will let you all know exactly what miles I have toward a second completion. And yeah, getting excited. The summer, when it first starts, it seems I have to get in a rhythm. And the first part of the rhythm was the Shenandoahs, and then spending 10 days hiking in New York, and then going over to the Adirondacks for 12 days, and now back over to Connecticut. Time flies when you are having fun. That is a true statement. So, all right, everybody, I am heading down. I am looking at white blazes on trees right now, heading down to Bull's Bridge. I probably won't come back on for day 2 of hiking here in Connecticut. Yesterday was New York/Connecticut. Today is officially Connecticut, because I'll be done in 2 miles. So I will leave it at that, and I will be back tomorrow for day 3. Still hiking on day number 2 here in Connecticut, and I wanted to come back on really with a brief announcement while I'm walking here on the trail and thinking about it. The majority of you know, unless you are new to the podcast, I do have a media production company that I co-own with my business partner, Austin Wallace. We own together Jester Wallace Productions, and we now have 2 documentaries that are out on our Jester Wallace YouTube channel. One is a film we put together about the Mountains to Sea Trail in the state of North Carolina, the history, the people that make up the trail, and how the trail got started. Our latest film that is out right now that you can go over and watch is titled Safe and Found, which is all about following the Haywood County Search and Rescue Team in Haywood County, North Carolina, at the base of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. That documentary is now available and coming soon. We have just finished our 3rd film production for the Allegheny Trail. There is going to be a 2-minute trailer that we will release on our Jester Wallace Productions channel, and I think it's a 10 or 11-minute film about the Allegheny Trail, how the Allegheny Trail got started, the people that are involved in the Allegheny Trail, the future of the Allegheny Trail, and all about following those white blazes on the Allegheny Trail. Those are going to release in September. But I would love y'all to death if you would go over to our Jester Wallace Productions YouTube channel. You can also find us on Instagram. You can also find us on Facebook. Give us a follow. And if you have not watched Safe and Found, I do recommend that you go over and do so. And if you enjoy the film, share that with everybody on your social media. We would still like to continue to spread the word about hiker safety, preventative search and rescue, and what it takes to work on a search and rescue team. So all of that information you can also find in the show notes of today's episode. So I really would appreciate it if you guys would go over and give us a follow. That film, Safe and Found, we have about 13,500 views so far on YouTube. And quite honestly, we would love to double and triple those numbers, but we need your help spreading the word about hiker safety. So if you could share about the film on your social media sites, that would be awesome. And be on the lookout this coming September 2024, our new documentaries or our new short films that we completed for the Allegheny Trail, a 2-minute trailer and then roughly an 11-minute film about that yellow blazed trail. Appreciate y'all following along. And now I'm going to move on and we'll see you tomorrow on day 3. Back at it again. The morning of day number 3 of being back here in Connecticut, hiking on the Appalachian Trail, working on the miles for my second section hike completion of the entire trail. And this morning, Thursday, July 18th, I started down at right across Bull's Bridge, the covered bridge at Shaghticoke Road. I know I'm totally messing that up. At mile marker 18 northbound, 1,465.8. And today I'm going to Connecticut Route 341, which is AT northbound mile marker 1,473.3, which is going to make it a 7.5 mile day on the trail. And today the weather is supposed to break a little bit. So I figured maybe I could get a few more miles in, and it matched out really well to where I could be dropped off down near the Bulls Bridge, covered bridge, and then get picked up at Connecticut Route 341, which that AT road crossing is about a mile from the town of Kent, Connecticut. And this is what Far Out says about Kent. It says, the quaint little town of Kent, Connecticut can be reached by traveling about a mile east of the AT crossing at Connecticut 341. There are plenty of hiker services in Kent, but the prices are fairly expensive. And right when we rolled into town a few days ago, we actually went to Kent, grabbed something to eat, and we went to the area in Far Out where it says there's a laundromat and an IGA store. That laundromat and IGA grocery store has really good services at the laundromat and really good resupply at the IGA store. They're pretty much in the same parking lot. I did read some comments on Far Out that people were rude at the laundromat. I did not have that experience. It was not an issue. So went in, did a little bit of laundry, and came back out. So there's plenty of food choices. It is expensive. There is no, like, when you come into Kent, I don't remember seeing a McDonald's. There might be one. There are no, like, close by McDonald's, Wendy's, places like that. You have to drive a little bit further. But we did go to, looking at my notes here, the Sportsman Connection, which is the sports store there in Kent. They had very minimal resupply, but stuff to get you by for 2-3 days. I went there looking for some more goo, but they did not have any type of goo or gel products, but they did have Noon. So I bought some more Noon. There was another, like maybe running shoe store there, but it was closed when we went, so I didn't get a chance to check that out. So basically in Kent, there is a post office there as well. So pretty good resupply town for hikers. I did read something in Far Out. People were staying with a lady or a place. I don't know if it's the lady's name or the place is called Barbie. But you can check out all the comments in Far Out when you get to these particular places. Some of the comments are very interesting. So anyway, yeah, headed to Connecticut 341 and we'll get picked up. And then who knows, maybe we'll grab something to eat there. And I know we're going to head back to our campground, Lake Warramog. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right. And then spend the rest of the afternoon at the campground. Kind of map out what I'm going to hike tomorrow, which is Friday. And then how many miles I'm going to be able to get in Saturday. And then that will put a wrap on the miles that I'm able to do here in Connecticut. And then Saturday afternoon, we will be headed back down to Pennsylvania to get those pesky 5 miles done. You guys know it by now, for PA 309 to the Bake Oven Knob parking area. And that will put a wrap officially on my summer section hiking on the Appalachian Trail. But I've got some more miles I'm going to do. And of course, I will fill you all in on that. And probably do some podcasting on those miles, because I've got some redemption down in my state of North Carolina that I want to do some hiking before we officially head home for the summer and then back to work. And I'm not feeling bad about going back to work. I actually feel really refreshed, rejuvenated, being able to set my goal of coming out here this summer and hiking, testing the foot. And my foot has done exceptionally well. Pretty much no pain. Feels good. I say pretty much no pain. I have no pain. I can just tell when my foot gets worked, and it's pretty much done. So with that being said, I did, let's see, there was really no name on the climb, but there was an awesome view from where I started down pretty much at Bull's Bridge. I did hike 1.5 miles already to get to the top of the climb. And it is a really damp trail today. It poured last night, which was great because I think the rain coming in really cooled things off and we really needed that. But the trail is damp. The dirt is dark and I love it. Getting into that New England rich soil. And I'm excited. Feeling good this morning. Hiking on. I'm under 6 miles now. Maybe 5.5 to Connecticut 341. We'll be done for the day. Head into Kent. Grab something to eat. Oh, and I did want to tell you guys before I sign off here that we did go over the Bull's Bridge, the covered bridge. It's absolutely beautiful. Took a bunch of pictures. We went to the Bull's Bridge Country Store. Very, very, very minimal resupply at the store. But they do have ice cream and some snacks, some drinks, and many things you can get to do a mini resupply before you got to Kent. And then we went back to New Milford, tried out a new diner. I got my traditional eggs, bacon, and a salad and coffee. And then, just enjoyed the rest of the afternoon. And then headed back to the campground. And here we are this morning, back on trail. So life is good this morning. It's almost like now that the weather has come and kind of cooled things down. I'm going to say all along the East Coast at this point. I can smell that New England air. And this morning, while I was doing the climb up to the first view, I was just thinking about these are the moments that during the school year while I'm working, I'm going to be like, yeah, I can't wait to get back out on trail. When you're working hard and you're climbing and your heart is racing and your lungs are pumping and it's just quiet. The climb was really quiet this morning, and I can kind of hear some birds. I heard some woodpeckers this morning, but for the most part, the forest has been really quiet. It's damp, and you could just smell the woods. And for those of you that love to get out here and do this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost like you could just smell the dirt. You could smell the woods. And that's why we do this. So I am going to carry on with the hike, and I will come back when I've got a mile or so left before Connecticut 341 and wrap up the day. I hope you guys can hear this stream. Still day 3 in Connecticut, working my way down to a small little stream and water crossing. And I love the sound of water, especially when you are coming down on the trail and you know at some point you have got to cross this body of water. And looks like a nice little, oh, it's a beautiful fall at the base of Shaghticoke Road, or, you know, mountain. And I am standing here staring at the falls, and I am going to take a video of this as I stand here. Absolutely gorgeous. I hope you guys can hear the water. And the sun is beaming down through here almost perfectly. And looks like a nice little rock hop. I'm kind of standing here in the middle. You could visualize I am right at the water again. I'm hoping this mic is picking up the water. Feet are not getting wet, just hopping across the rocks. And beautiful waterfall on the side of, I'm going to pull that name up again. Far out, it says, this is just a stream crossing, but it's actually a nice waterfall on the side of Shaghticoke Mountain. Totally saying that wrong. Shaghticoke Road, and or mountain. The road is where I started this morning. Anyway, wow. Really, really cool. And again, that feeling when you know you're descending and you start hearing water. In my mind, I start thinking, oh, how am I going to cross that? Is there going to be a bridge? Am I going to rock hop? Am I going to get my feet wet? Just start thinking of all the scenarios. It keeps going, y'all. The trail is beautiful water source going right along here. And yeah, just going to continue to follow these white blazes as I work my way down to Connecticut 341. I'll be back to wrap up. Still at it on day 3. I am currently in the middle of my last little climb. And honestly, it's just like a little blip up, a couple 100 feet. And before I talk about what's on my mind, today's hike has been fantastic. From the beginning, the 1.5 mile climb up, and then you just kind of rode the ridge, which the mountain I've been on is that word I can't pronounce. And I need somebody from Connecticut to reach out to me and let me know how to pronounce this mountain. And I'm going to look up the word again. It is Shaghticoke. Shaghticoke, Mount Shaghticoke. Been on this ridge all day. Following parallel to this mountain is the road I was dropped off on this morning. And toward the end of the hike, there's 2 little climbs, little blips. And I'm on the first one with about 2 miles to go until I get to the road. And I was standing at the bottom of this climb, and I looked up, and all I saw was the trail and rocks and everything that comes, roots. And hiking on a climb is just like life. I'm by myself, nobody else is around, and I was at the bottom of this climb, and I was like, well, are you going to complain? Well, you can, but nobody else is around to hear it, so who cares? Are you going to wait for somebody else to come along who might possibly be on the trail and drag your butt up the mountain and complain the whole way you had to wait on them, this, that, and the other? Or are you just going to put one foot in front of the other and start climbing and sweating and huffing and puffing and being out of breath and navigating the trail just like we do everyday life? A lot of times when you greet people, you'll say, hey, how's it going? And either A, someone will start telling you their whole life story of everything that's wrong in their life, or B, someone will say, can't complain. Somebody else has got a better story. Or C, they greet you right back and say, well, hey, how are you doing? And just like climbing a mountain, that's the way we greet life. Put one foot in front of the other. Stop complaining. Get up the hill. Get over whatever obstacles in your life. Route a map on the hill. You could look at far out 8,000 times. It's mapped before you. It'll tell you exactly where you are on the trail. And if you have a map for your life that you are working on, even though you're going up the hill, you can take a look at that map and see if you're on track. And doesn't matter what your goal is. Say your goal is, you want to lose weight, you want to strengthen, you want to hike, you want to do all the things. Your goal might be to get a better job, get a different job. Your goal might be do whatever it takes to get out of debt so you can live a debt-free lifestyle. And you're going to have obstacles along the way. When you're trying to get out of debt, something inevitably is going to go wrong in your house. Your refrigerator is going to go bad. Something's going to happen. Your air conditioning is going to go out, whatever. And some of the money you saved is going to have to go toward, getting that replaced. And you're going to have to start over again or put more money away and bump that obstacle out of the way, just like climbing a hill, stopping and taking breaks. Me recording the podcast, telling you all that I'm out of breath. And this is the moment I want to remember during the school year when I'm facing many, 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 many little blips during the day that are really easy to get over, easy to maneuver because you could just open your map and say, yep, this is the route I need to go with this blip. This is the route I need to go. I've already mapped out how I want to get from point A to point B. So the moral of the story is when you're climbing or even when you're going downhill, there's always an obstacle. And are you just going to stand down at the bottom of the hill and wait for somebody to help you? Or are you going to come up with your own plan and get up and over that obstacle? And sometimes it might be turning around and going back and reevaluating and starting at a different point. And if I would have gotten to the bottom of this climb and needed to reroute, needed to, navigate, I would have done that too. So climbing is a metaphor for everything. I don't know what prompted me to share that. I was just standing at the bottom of that hill thinking, I'm here by myself. I'm looking up. I see nothing but rocks, roots. Don't even see the top of the mountain. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you're not near the top and you know you got more and more to go. And that's just life. Then you navigate, you get to the top, and you carry on. So I am going to end day 3 on that note, something to think about. These are the moments, and I'm on a rock slab right now, that I actually live for on trail. When I'm by myself, when I have to navigate and I have to use the tools that I have with me far out, my AT guide, my water in my pack, my snacks in my pack, and I'm totally self-reliant. And that is an awesome feeling. And that is one of the reasons I think people get addicted to hiking and what you can do for yourself out here. Because right now, there's really only maybe a handful of people that really care if I'm out here and know where I'm at in navigating this mountain. And such is life. There's really probably only a handful of people that know exactly what you're going through physically, mentally, spiritually. And yeah, I think those of you probably listening to this podcast love to hike for your various reasons. And some like going uphill, some like going downhill. But you got to navigate and use the tools before you. And when those tools don't work anymore, you got to figure out and get new tools. And there's a lot of things out there to help you with anything that you are trying to navigate. And yeah, I am on a rock slab right now, still looking up and don't see the top of the mountain. So that is the end of day 3. I am looking forward to wherever we're going to eat today and chilling out at the campground. And I'll be back for day 4 tomorrow. Welcome back, everybody. Or I should say, good morning, everybody. And day number 4 here in Connecticut. I am currently out on the Appalachian Trail, getting in another little hike this morning. I should not say little because today is going to be a fun and hard day at the same time. I started this morning about 1.5 miles ago where I ended yesterday at Connecticut Route 341, which is AT northbound mile 1473.3. And today I am going to a road called Don Hill Road, DAWN, Hill Road, AT northbound mile marker 1482.9, which is going to make it a 9.3 mile day here in Connecticut. And this is actually going to be where I end in Connecticut on day 4. I decided to hike a 9.3 mile day today. That way tomorrow, which is Saturday. I guess I should tell y'all the date. Today is Friday, July 19th. Tomorrow is Saturday the 20th. We just want to kind of get up, enjoy the morning, have a great breakfast at the campsite, and then work our way back down to Pennsylvania, where you all know I am going to end my section hiking this summer, completing that 5-mile section that I need to do in Pennsylvania. But before we get to that, we've got work to do here in Connecticut. Some highlights of today's hike. I just left the road 341, and the trail has been rerouted. You have to walk on the road maybe a quarter of a mile, maybe a little bit longer, because for some reason you used to cross the road and kind of go through this field, and apparently there was a big washout of a bridge or something. Something's been washed out, and they have officially rerouted the trail. So right away this morning, it started with a little bit of a road walk, and then as soon as you got off the road, the trail is still, it must have been a local trail. It's blazed white for the AT and blue for whatever trail it used to be. And then you take the new route up to where the old route used to connect, where they have rerouted you. Hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. Just a new part of trail this morning. And I am working my way up toward today's highlights, which is Caleb's Peak. And then right after Caleb's Peak are the infamous St. John's Ledges. I will be going down the ledges, and once I get down those ledges, it will be the 4.5-mile mark. And I believe Stephanie is going to be able to meet me there at the road. And then after I meet with her for a little bit, refuel, get some water, all that good stuff, I will do another, I believe, 4.8 miles all along the Housatonic River. It's relatively, I shouldn't say relatively, it's flat. And you, if I can remember correctly, you walk along the Housatonic River there for quite a while. So, and then I will be getting picked up at Hill Road. And my little flat section of recording has ended. And now I am going up some rock steps. So that will round out today. Caleb's Peak, St. John's Ledges, and then a nice 4.8 mile walk to the end to round out a 9.3 mile day. This will end my time here in Connecticut for now. So when I start up again, I will be starting up on Hill Road and going north. So that is what the morning and early afternoon is going to consist of. Before I continue hiking and get off the mic here, so to speak, I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to a few listeners who have reached out to me, and they have given me their permission to read what they have written me. And I want to say, first and foremost, I am very grateful and thankful, as always, for all of your support on the podcast every week that each and every one of you listen. And one thing about podcasting is, I mean, you can tell your downloads and how many people have actually downloaded the show, but you can't tell who. So it's always nice when people reach out to me and let me know they're listening to the show, give me feedback. And the first, let's see, here we go. Sorry. The first one I want to read to you guys is, got a message from Brad on Facebook Messenger. Brad says, just listen to your podcast, New York, days 5 through 9. So sorry to hear about the friend you lost recently. I like what you said in the previous episode of your student, thanking you for your positive impact on her life. Just beautiful. I am so encouraged and inspired by listening to these podcasts. I know it would be much easier to just hike, but just wanted to affirm how much impact your generosity has had on my life, and no doubt so many more. Life is short, so I am saying what I feel to my friends and family with abandon. They know I love them. Thank you, and I love the adventure you are on now. Safe travels, and God bless you. Thank you, Brad. I truly appreciate that. Again, getting feedback from listeners is so important. It lets me know who you are and that you're out there listening to the podcast. And Brad, I truly appreciate your kind words. The next message I received, it was actually an email from a former guest of the show. I believe I have read his feedback on here before. His name is Rolf, and he lives in Colorado. And Rolf says, Jester, I just listened to your podcast, including day 5 in New York. I am very sorry about your friend who passed away suddenly. I just wanted you to know that your message about living each day to the fullest, and especially contacting people you love to let them know you care about them, really resonated with me and caused me to reach out to some people. I'm also really impressed at how you took control of your health. I've had times in my life too where I've yo-yoed back and forth about 30 pounds and even more. Right now I'm doing better and it sure feels good. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your summer hiking. I'm getting ready to hike the John Muir Trail in about a month. And before that, a past loop and some backpacking with one of my sons. I'm more than a little excited and anxious about the JMT, but I'm also as anxious that my son and I have a nice backpacking experience. Thank you, Rolf. And oh my goodness, how awesome is that you are going to be hiking the John Muir Trail and that you're going to be getting to go out and backpack with one of your sons. And I understand the anxiety about hiking the JMT and can understand the anxiousness that you have about going out with your son because you want him to have a fantastic time and you're his dad. So that is awesome. And Rolf, I'm probably going to get this wrong. You are a trail range angel for the Colorado Trail. I cannot remember the area that you trail angel right now, but I will put that information once I look that up in the description of today's show notes. So for any of you that are going to go out and do a section hike of the Colorado Trail or a through hike of the Colorado Trail, I am going to leave Rolf's information in the description of this episode so you can get a hold of him and contact him for more information about the Colorado Trail. Again, Rolf and Brad, thank you so much for your kind words and reaching out. It gives me validity to keep pressing on and moving forward and continuing the podcast. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Shradar, who has also been on the podcast. He was part of a series that I did in 2022 called Jester's Class of 2022 Section Hikers. His name is Shradar Sharaf. And Shradar, I have totally enjoyed your Instagram and Facebook posts recently because Shradar is out section hiking the Whites on the Appalachian Trail. And from what I can tell, it has been an absolutely beautiful trip for you, Shradar. And you are taking in the full experience. You're staying in huts, you're climbing the mountains, you're backpacking, and you're making it happen. So by the time this episode releases, I hope you hear this and reach out and let me know how your final trip ended. But just wanted to give you a shout out on the show as a section hiker, making it happen in the White Mountains. So if any of you all want to reach out to me, the easiest way is probably email jester@jestersectionhiker.com. And I would love to hear your feedback, have your permission to read your feedback on the show and share more information from other section hikers out getting it done on whatever trail you're hiking, the Appalachian Trail or whatever long distance trail you're hiking. So with that being said, I am actually going downhill and working my way toward the base of the climb for Caleb's Peak. And once I get up and over Caleb's Peak and then down the St. John's Ledges. I will come back and let y'all know how that went. I am back, and y'all, I am super stoked, super happy. Made it to the beautiful view of Caleb's Peak. I forgot how beautiful and stunning that peak is when you get up to it. After that, made it over to the beautiful view at St. John's Ledges. And about a half a mile ago, I made it down the downhill going north off of St. John's Ledges. And I gotta tell you, I've either got some good trail legs, or my training or my hiking that I did in the Adirondacks has helped. And I think it's a combination of all the above, because I have been out hiking for over a month now. And for St. John's Ledges, I had this, for some reason, horrible, terrible downhill rocks, big slabs built up in my mind, because for some reason, that's what I remembered. So when I started the downhill, it is very steep, but either there has been some tremendous trail work done that I don't remember from 2015, and that is totally possible because that was 9 years ago, or I'm just getting stronger and the downhill didn't bother me like it would have. So I think it's just a combination of everything. To me, it was a fun, steep downhill. Even if you were going southbound and doing the uphill, the trail up to or down from St. John's Ledges is very well marked, very well traveled. It's very clear where to go. And then you pop out on River Road, hook a left. I'm going north, you would hook a left. And now I've got this nice gravel, off the beaten path, gravel road walk for, from what I remember, quite some time. And to my right side, since I am going north, is the Housatonic River. And again, if I remember, as I get further down this road, there are spots where you can walk out and sit along the river, unless I've totally lost my mind, but I don't think so. So down here, when I got down from St. John's Ledges, Stephanie was down here, and the very first thing she said to me was, "Hey, listen, since you're doing the 9.3 miles today, I figured out you could do 6.6 miles tomorrow morning before we head out." And I was like, "Oh, I thought we were going to, go have breakfast, blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Nah, I think you should hike the 6.6 to West Cornwall tomorrow." So here we are. Pretty sure 100% I am going to hike 6.6 miles tomorrow. And then tomorrow we'll put a bow on where I leave off in Connecticut. And we were at the van. I sat down, got something to drink, ate an apple. And while I was doing that, I started crunching some numbers of exactly how many miles I have left to fully complete the Appalachian Trail as a section hiker. Ooh, beautiful water. Not sure you guys can hear that. Right off the road. Beautiful. As a section hiker. And this is what we came up with. So if I, actually you'd have to minus 6.6 miles if I do that tomorrow. So right now, if I ended today and I don't do the 6.6 miles tomorrow, I would have 551.6 miles left until I finish the trail again. And if I can do the math in my head, when I complete the 6.6 miles tomorrow, I will have 545 miles left. So that 545 miles would consist of hiking from West Cornwall Road in Connecticut to Tyringham Road in Massachusetts. That is, actually, I don't have that total. So I would have to go from West Cornwall to Tyringham Road, get in the van, head up to Vermont, and then I have Vermont 103 to Lyme Dorchester Road in New Hampshire, get back in the car, head over to New Hampshire 25C, and then I will hike 25C in New Hampshire all the way to touch the sign on Katahdin. And as of right now, not doing tomorrow, that would be 551.6 miles. I did not include the pesky 5 miles in Pennsylvania that I am going to do this coming Sunday, because I'm going to knock those out and get those done. And I am going to have an episode specifically from that hike that is going to release the Saturday after this episode. So the individuals that I'm going to be hiking with have agreed to come on the mic and chat with me for a bit about the hiking that we do that day and their experience in the Seek to Do More program. So that is going to be fun. So for now, hopefully you can hear the crunch of the ground under my feet. I am on the gravel river road portion, walking along the Housatonic River to my right. Today, the weather, you could not ask for better weather. The humidity is low, the sunshine is out, and everybody I've seen today has a smile on their face. And how can you not when you're out hiking? Not just only on the Appalachian Trail, but anywhere really. So with that being said, I am pretty sure I will be back tomorrow for day number 5. And tomorrow will definitely be the final hiking day in Connecticut. And y'all, I am looking at white blazes on trees. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I am starting to hear the water more and more of the Housatonic. And I am going to enjoy the rest of this probably now 4-mile hike. And y'all, I'll be back tomorrow. All right, y'all. I am hoping you can hear the glorious water of the Housatonic River. And I wanted to let you know I had lost my mind because River Road actually ends, and then you end up on very nice single track trail going along the Housatonic. So I will leave you with the sounds until tomorrow of the Housatonic River. Good morning, everybody. It is a fantastic 59 degrees this morning here in Connecticut. Saturday, July 20th. Out for my final day, my official final day here in Connecticut, day 5, for a 6.6 mile hike. Started at Don Hill Road this morning, just under a half a mile back at northbound mile marker 1,482.9. And I am going to end today's hike at West Cornwall Road, northbound AT mile marker 1,489.5, which makes it for a 6.6 mile day. And all the mileages that I've been using correspond with the 2024 AT guide and far out. So yeah, cruising along. And if you look at today's far out situation, it looks like a nice little heartbeat. Up 500, down 400, up 300, down 200. And just looks like a nice little heartbeat for 6.6 miles. Don't see anything that is a major contention as far as major view, major point, anything like that I can tell. Looks like my first climb is about 500 feet. And then I'll head down and then head up to a place called another peak, Bread Loaf Mountain. And then the next viewpoint after that is Pine Knob Mountain. And like I said, if you look at far out the mountain view, it looks just like a nice little heartbeat. Up, down, up, down, up, down. But as I go today, of course, I will keep you posted because I am positive there is probably something I am missing and absolutely don't remember from the last time I was through here. The first time I was through here was the summer of 2015. So here we go. I am really glad that Stephanie talked me into doing these 6.6 miles because the weather last night was nice and cool, and it has remained cool all the way through this morning. I didn't realize it got down to 59 degrees, but how wonderful is that? So y'all, I did want to give you a couple reminders. During this podcast, I did let you know that Austin and I, we do have a company, a production company, Jester Wallace Productions, and we decided to go ahead and release the Allegheny Trail film trailer. That is out now for y'all to go over and watch over on our Jester Wallace Productions YouTube channel. And I believe I mentioned this in the Adirondack episode, but my episode with James over on the 46 of 46 podcast has also released. And again, I will put this information in today's episode show notes. And as always, I am stopping because I am looking up and looks like I am getting ready to start the first climb of the day. So 100% y'all, I will be back either in the middle of this hike to give you an update or toward the end of the hike. So hope you all are having a fantastic Saturday morning when this episode releases. And just know, right in front of me, I am looking up and there is, I'll take a picture of this or I'll take a video of this. There's a stone wall of work that I'm getting ready to walk through. And of course, a beautiful tree with a white blaze on it. And that reminds me, if you guys go over to my Julie Gayheart YouTube channel, I have been taking short videos and putting them on my YouTube channel as shorts in order that I've done my hiking this summer. So you can go all the way back and watch day after day after day, every single hike that I have done this summer with descriptions on my Julie Gayheart YouTube channel. So if you want, you can go check that out as well. And I believe a couple Saturdays ago. Yeah, would have been 2 Saturdays ago. I put out an episode titled What's in Jester's Day Pack. And I did make a video version of that episode that you can go over and watch on YouTube. And I believe at one point I took my shoes and socks off and showed you my shoes and my socks that I wear while I am out hiking as well, and continued to do the episode pretty much barefoot on one foot. So y'all have a great morning, and I'll be back. All right, you guys, hopefully you can hear this water. I'm going to take you with me for this water crossing. I'm pretty sure I can get across without getting my feet wet, but we shall see. This is right at 1.6 miles into my hike today. Yeah, if it would have rained the past few days, I would be getting my feet wet. But so far, so good. Just looking at my different options here to stay dry. And with water crossings, I always take the low route, because if I fall, it won't be that far, right? And so far, still not wet. Got a nice little rock here. And I never step forward until I know I am solid. And where my next foot is going, boom, boom. All right, I did hit the water a little bit and a tree, but I am across, and no worse for the wear. That was fun. That always gets your heart rate up a little bit when you have to rock hop. And I'm not sure if I have any more of those. I'm going to look on far out real quick and see and tell y'all exactly. So this is Guinea Brook, Guinea Brook, 1.7 miles north of where I started this morning. So pretty cool. Just crossed Guinea Brook. Hopefully you guys can hear the water. I think these DJI mics are so good that sometimes they take out the background that I want you guys to hear, specifically water. So, all right, that was water crossing 1.7 miles in. So I have 6.6 minus 1.7. I have no idea, 4.9 or 5 miles to go, and I'll be back. Back to close out day number 5 in Connecticut on the Appalachian Trail, and really close out the episode as well. I have just under 2 miles to go until I hit West Cornwall Road, where I am going to be picked up, and then we are going to turn the van south toward Pennsylvania, and I will be meeting in the morning 3 individuals from my Seek to Do More family, and we are going to be hiking that 5-mile section. Well, according to Far Out, it's 4.9 in Pennsylvania from PA 309 to Bake Oven Knob parking area. And that will put a nice little bow on that section in Pennsylvania, put a check mark on that. Before I close out the episode, I wanted to tell you today's hike has been extremely interesting. It's always amazing what can go down on a hike on the Appalachian Trail, as far as terrain, as far as the people you meet, and the exercise you actually get when you are out on the trail. It all start with the exercise part. I will say for the first almost 3.5 miles of the hike, I felt like I was doing Jester's press, Jester's squat, Jester's step ups. all along the trail. The forest was dense and lush. And some points of the trail, you were going up rock slabs. Other points, you were going up very beautifully done rock stairs, steps. And other points, water crossings. I recorded the one water crossing, but right after that, actually, I had another water crossing. It was really easy. Just bebopped over the rocks. And then I noticed the AT started to coincide with, I think it's called the Pine Loop Trail. It's a blue blaze trail. And I started seeing people out running. There was a lady out walking her dog. And then another couple went by me. And I was like, that's interesting. I don't remember the AT connecting up with this Pine Loop Trail. But who knows? Like I said, the last time I was on this Connecticut section was back in 2015. So my memory of that is pretty much long gone. I remember bits and pieces and favorite places and, oh yeah, I've been here before, things like that. But not specifics like the AT will coincide with another trail. So the Pine Loop Trail is a 2.5 mile loop that actually hits right in the center of this section. And I met one gentleman, he was actually coming the opposite way. So I guess, I don't know what that would be for them, maybe counterclockwise, depending on how the trail goes, since it is a loop. And we stood there and talked, and he seems to think that the AT was rerouted a little bit to hit the Pine Loop Trail just for a little bit. And then there is a T intersection where it is very evident where the Pine Loop Trail goes right. And if you're going north, the AT goes left. So I am at that point of the trail now. One of the things that I wanted to say is I started to notice, and I didn't realize the trails had coincided, a very evident difference in the trail, in the footing. It started to get easier, and the forest started to open up, and all of a sudden, it was like you were in a pine tree forest, and thus the Pine Loop Trail. So I was talking to this gentleman, and he was out doing the loop. And when we got done talking, he was like, "Can I ask where you're from?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, let me guess." And his guess was Texas. So all you Texans out there, apparently I sound like I'm from Texas, but I always kind of forget that when I'm on the AT, that I'm up north, that I do have somewhat of a Southern accent. I say somewhat, but I do have a Southern accent. And I don't know. As soon as I opened my mouth, people were like, "You're not from here. Where are you from?" So it's been interesting. It's fun. And what a great way to end the day. I basically have one more downhill. I am on the downhill now. I have a little uphill where those Jesters press and squats are going to come in handy one more time for the day. And then out to the van where I'm going to get picked up, and then we are going to head to Pennsylvania. So that will put a nice little bow on things. I did some more calculating last night, and I wanted to leave you all with, I'm going to go back. I took a picture of my exact mileage that I have now to complete, and I actually broke it down into 3 sections of trail. So including today's mileage being knocked off and hiked, I have a total of 545 miles to complete the Appalachian Trail for a second time. And I did break that down into 3 different sections. So the first section will be from West Cornwall Road here in Connecticut to Tyringham Road in Massachusetts. And the second section will be from Vermont 103 to Lyme Dorchester Road. So Vermont 103 to Lyme Dorchester Road in New Hampshire. And then the third section will be New Hampshire 25C, which is pretty much right before Mount Moosilauke, where you enter the Whites all the way through to Katahdin in Maine for a total of 545 miles left to complete the Appalachian Trail. And if I lump it into 3 sections, it seems pretty doable. So we shall see for now. When I end the hike today, nice little bow on this, and then nice little bow on the 4.9 or 5 miles that I have to do in Pennsylvania tomorrow. And then we shall go from there. Again, the mileage in Pennsylvania is not included in the 545 total because I'm pretty much going to knock that out tomorrow. And there will be a podcast episode next Saturday from that hike, because the plan is to podcast during that hike tomorrow and interview the people that I am hiking with, and then put that out as an episode. So hopefully you all have enjoyed all of this information and all of the fun that I have been sharing this summer about getting out on the Appalachian Trail, hiking in the Adirondacks, meeting James over at the 46 of 46 podcast, and who has been my coach for the last 6 months. That was a special treat. And then being able to come back to Connecticut and then head to Pennsylvania tomorrow. So life is good, everybody. I'm feeling good. The foot is feeling really, really good. And I was having a conversation with Stephanie yesterday. It's almost like this is some of the best hiking I've had in such a long time because I'm not in pain. I'm not in pain when I get done hiking. I mean, I have your normal, I'm tired, aches and pains, but don't have any issues with my foot anymore. And it is a miracle. And I just love it. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I'm even able to be out here, because I just never thought this would happen again. So you can do things that you don't think you'll ever do again. If you put your mind to it, you find a plan, get yourself together, and just start working toward that goal. Things are achievable, and I will leave this episode on that note. So, as always, everybody, here from Connecticut, as I walk by and tap a white blaze on a tree, thanks for listening. Be safe out there, and happy section hiking.